and that was in 2020. And as hard as it is to appreciate or understand why the decision was made the way that it was in 2020, the hardest thing for me.
All right, buckle up, because Prince Harry just dropped a royal bombshell that's got everyone talking. And yep, it's way messier than we thought. After all the silent drama with King Charles, Harry's finally spilling some seriously juicy and kinda shocking secrets. The whole monarchy is feeling the heat, and honestly, you won't believe what's coming next. Let's break down this wild royal roller coaster.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff.
So believe it or not, Prince Harry and King Charles used to be pretty tight, like father-son team against the world kind of tight. After Princess Diana's tragic passing, Charles really tried to step up as a dad and be there for Harry and his brother William. It wasn't all royal, stiff upper lip stuff. Charles showed he cared and wanted to keep the boys grounded during a really tough time. They had some moments that felt genuinely heartwarming. For example, Charles was super supportive when Harry was serving in the military. You could almost picture him silently cheering from the sidelines like a proud dad at a school play. Then there was the big wedding day. Remember when Charles walked Meghan Markle down the aisle? That was a pretty big deal. It showed that despite the royal drama, Charles and Harry shared a personal connection that went beyond protocol. One of the most touching parts of their relationship was how they talked about Diana. Sharing memories and feelings about their late mother helped keep them connected emotionally. It was like their own special way of dealing with grief and staying close despite the royal spotlight. Alright, here's where things really start to get messy between Harry, Meghan, and the royal family. When Meghan Markle first joined the royal crew, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. The media immediately turned up the heat, and honestly, it felt like the palace didn't have her back the way they should have. The tabloids went after her hard, and poor Meghan was caught right in the middle of a royal media storm. Harry saw this and went into full-on protective dad mode. He was worried history would repeat itself, remember how badly Princess Diana was treated, yet he didn't want Meghan to go through the same nightmare.
You add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's, yeah, well, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay, but it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
Then came the big bombshell moment. Harry and Meghan decided to step back from royal duties. Yep, the infamous Megxit. This move shocked everyone, especially King Charles. Apparently the couple didn't have a deep sit-down chat with him beforehand, which left Charles feeling blindsided and pretty hurt. Imagine finding out your son and daughter-in-law are quitting the family biz from the news. Not the best way to get the news, right? Things got even more intense when Harry and Meghan sat down with Oprah for that jaw-dropping interview. They shared some serious stuff, like feeling neglected by the royal family and even hinting at racism behind palace walls. That interview shook the world and turned what was a family drama into a global headline. People everywhere started debating and taking sides. Since then, the distance between Harry and Charles has only grown big. They don't talk as much, and when they do, it's tense. Public comments here and there just add fuel to the fire.
Life is a precious thing, and I'm acutely aware of the fragility of that. I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited. And you know, there is a lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him.
So things between Harry and King Charles have gone from strained to almost completely silent. Reports say they barely talk these days, with very little contact happening behind the scenes. It's like they're ships passing in the night, avoiding each other more than ever. There have been a few attempts at reconciliation, especially during big family moments like Queen Elizabeth's funeral. You'd think such a major event would bring everyone together, right? Sadly, that wasn't really the case. The hopes for a heartfelt reunion quickly fizzled out with no private meetings or real heart-to-hearts between Harry and Charles. Instead, their interactions were mostly formal and stiff, like two colleagues stuck at the same event but desperate to keep things professional. This public display of tension hasn't just affected the two of them. The whole royal family has felt the impact. Harry and Meghan have been spotted spending holidays separately from the rest of the family, and even the grandchildren aren't as close as you might expect. It's tough to see the younger generation growing up a bit estranged from their cousins and grandparents because of all this drama.
I don't think that anymore. Now I know that it was, security was used as leverage. And I think what really worries me more than anything else about today's decision, depending on what happens next.
Prince Harry has often spoken about feeling like an outsider within the royal family, famously calling himself the Spare. That label, while a bit humorous on the surface, reflects some deep frustrations. Being the second son meant Harry always lived in the shadow of his older brother William, and that feeling of being the backup plan seemed to follow him around. It's tough being the spare when the spotlight rarely shines fully on you. Things got even harder when Meghan joined the picture. Harry saw firsthand how she was treated by the media, and sometimes it seemed by the palace itself. He felt there wasn't enough institutional support to protect her from the relentless scrutiny and harsh criticism. That lack of support only fueled Harry's anger, making him more determined to speak out and defend Meghan. Harry's frustrations aren't just about Meghan's struggles, they also echo his own unresolved grief over his mother, Princess Diana. He has drawn parallels between Diana's painful experiences with the royal family and the challenges he and Meghan have faced. That connection makes his feelings even more personal and raw. Over the years, Harry has become increasingly open about these issues. Through candid interviews, documentaries, and his memoir, he has shared his side of the story with the world. Here's where things take a seriously explosive turn. Prince Harry has revealed that King Charles has been dealing with a hidden health crisis that the palace tried hard to keep under wraps. According to Harry, Charles is facing some troubling health issues, including problems with memory and mood. These aren't just small hiccups, they're significant enough to affect his ability to perform royal duties. And the kicker? The palace has allegedly been covering it all up, with doctors and advisors supposedly keeping the truth a secret from the public and even other family members. Harry's claims aren't just wild accusations, he's backed them up with some solid evidence like personal letters and notes he shared that mention canceled appearances and last-minute changes to Charles's schedule. Plus, there's talk of pre-recorded speeches being used to mask the king's condition, giving the appearance that he's fully up and running when in reality things aren't quite that smooth behind the scenes. So why is Harry dropping this bombshell now? It's a mix of frustration and a push for transparency. He feels stuck in a system built on secrecy where honesty often takes a backseat to preserving the royal image. By speaking out, Harry hopes to shine a light on what's really going on, not to betray his family, but to push for openness and accountability. For him, it's about breaking the silence that has allowed these issues to fester.
Look at the threat. Look at the impact that if anything was to happen to me, my wife, or my father's grandchildren, if anything was to happen to them, look where the responsibility lies.
After Harry's explosive claims about King Charles's health crisis, Buckingham Palace chose to stay mostly silent. No official statements or detailed responses came out, which some saw as a classic royal move, keep calm and carry on. But the silence only fueled the fire, leaving plenty of room for speculation and gossip. The public and media reactions were all over the place. Supporters of Harry praised him for finally speaking the truth and pushing for transparency. They see him as the brave whistleblower willing to break royal taboos. On the other hand, critics accused Harry of airing dirty laundry and damaging the monarchy's reputation. For many, this is yet another example of royal family drama spilling into the public eye, making the monarchy look weak and divided. Either way, the scandal has stirred a serious debate about the future of the British crown. Meanwhile, Prince William is reportedly furious about the the situation, sources say his relationship with Harry has become even more strained, with little communication between the brothers. William is said to feel betrayed and upset by Harry's decision to go public with such personal family matters, deepening the rift between them. When it comes to why Prince Harry decided to go public with these explosive revelations, opinions vary widely. One clear reason seems to be his desire to protect his family, especially Meghan and their children. Harry's experiences echo the painful struggles his mother, Princess Diana, faced with the royal institution and the media. He's determined not to let history repeat itself and wants to shine a light on the harsh realities behind palace walls. For Harry, speaking out is a way to demand accountability and transparency from an institution that often feels secretive and unyielding. But not everyone sees it that way. Some critics argue that Harry's motives might lean more toward retaliation. After feeling isolated and abandoned by the firm, Harry may be airing grievances as a way to push back against those he believes wronged him. This perspective paints his actions less as a quest for justice and more as a personal vendetta born from hurt feelings. And then there's Meghan's role. It's hard to ignore how much her presence influenced Harry's decisions. Many say Meghan gave Harry the courage to break free from royal tradition and to speak his truth. Her own battles with the media and palace pressures clearly impacted Harry's mindset, making him more determined to protect his family at all costs, even if it means public fallout.
I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
The big question on everyone's mind is reconciliation between Prince Harry and King Charles and the wider royal family even possible? There are definitely some potential paths to healing. Private conversations and small gestures could help mend fences away from the prying eyes of the media. Sometimes just talking honestly without cameras or headlines can go a long way. Another key factor might be Prince William, who's set to become king one day. Some hope William could act as a mediator, helping to bridge the gap between his brother and father and encouraging family unity when the time comes. But the road to reconciliation is full of obstacles. There's a deep-seated mistrust on both sides, and years of hurt don't just vanish overnight. Plus, the tension between what happens privately and what plays out in public complicates things. When personal family issues become global headlines, it's hard to find common ground without added pressure. The royal family's image is always under the microscope, making private healing tricky. Still, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth offers some hope. Throughout her reign, she was often seen as the family's unifying force, able to bring everyone together during tough times. Many fans believe her influence might eventually inspire healing within the family, even if it takes time. Fans on social media have shared mixed feelings. One comment said, "I really hope they can put their differences aside for the kids' sake." Another read, "It won't be easy, but family is family. Time heals wounds. Whatever happens, the world will be watching closely, hoping for a royal reunion that feels genuine and lasting." Thanks for diving into this royal drama with me. If you enjoyed the scoop, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more juicy updates. Got thoughts on the Harry-Charles saga? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you next time.